Hello and welcome to the Chilled Cardano podcast. I am Illinois with my brother Chilled Cardano on Twitter. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Eric. It's Saturday. I just started my vacation from my fiat job. Trying to get it spicy.
Mining.
My fiat mining job.
The sun's shining, birds chirping, cryptoing. With that being said, let's take a look at the charts. Enough personal talk.
Down to business. Down to brass tacks over here, this guy.
Like to keep it very business oriented on here. We have a professional relationship, and that's kind of where I want to keep it. As you can see, we were on this nice little trajectory upwards for a while, and then we finally had a big old dip. And a lot of people are kind of freaking out about it. And this is Bitcoin, not ADA, and also ADA had a pretty big dump, like a 12% dump at the same time. So I saw a lot of people. Yeah. I saw a lot of people blaming it on like the testnet stuff. And I don't think that was really related. I think it was just like bad timing.
And we'll go into that. We'll definitely talk about that.
But I don't think that's like I think it was just bad timing. So although it kind of sucked, to watch, I actually think the fact that it didn't like break into new lows and it kind of stayed at kind of around this previous low makes me think maybe we'll just keep with this upward trend, but we have to see it kind of level out. And I think we had we've had a few good weeks, so it was bound to happen where we kind of get like this dump again, but I'm not too like worried about it in the long term. But it did suck to see happen.
We're definitely in a bear market. Things are going down. I don't know how far they'll go down. But at this point in this stage, it's more about accumulation. I think we've hit our bottom for Cardano. I think we might hit those levels again. And at that point, I'm a heavy buyer. I was kind of, to be totally honest with you, this whole bear market rally, I've kind of been salty because definitely sold some at the bottom, but definitely was hoping to accumulate more at those levels and it would stay there, but it kind of took off without me. So I'm definitely licking my chops for it to get back down there to accumulate as much as humanly possible. Yeah, it dumped. It definitely dumped with the Adam K. Dean tweet where he said, catastrophe, the testnet is broken. And Charles did not take very lightly to that. It's kind of been this back and forth between developers, Cardano developers, and Charles Hoskinson. We've been getting Twitter videos, YouTube videos, tweets, Twitter spaces. I mean, all types of conversation about this issue where we have these two sides where it's the people who run the nodes, right? The stake pools. And we have the people who run IOG, Charles Hoskinson and all the computer scientists and their developers who are creating the node to update to for the Vasil hardfork, which we've all been licking our chops to get a hold of, because that means once this gets released, we get Liquid Finance, we get Maladex, we get Ardana, we get Genius Yield, Genius Dex. I mean, countless more. We're talking like maybe 25, 50 projects coming online within weeks. So we're going to get a lot of activity, a lot of new apps to play with. You're going to get borrowing and lending. I don't know if I'm hearing things about World Mobile Token coming to Wyoming and starting their internet there. So it's just like very exciting times, and everyone's just like ready to get going because like we've been waiting for a year for like smart contracts to really take off and kind of take this whole this Cardano ecosystem to the next level, because right now we're kind of playing beta to Ethereum and just kind of copying their apps because at this rate our speeds are very similar to Ethereum. And the Vasil hard fork is going to bring in these apps that Ethereum can't do. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And everyone just really wants it to happen. And so I think from a developer standpoint, from the IOG, they really want this to get pushed through. Um, and then you have the stake pool operators who, this is their small business, right? This is how they make their money. Every 5 days, they get paid by their, their delegates, and it's this nice little ecosystem. So they don't want the buck to stop. They want to make sure that everything is being done well, done right, and there's no hiccups. Because if you have a testnet fail, there's a chance that if you update this software and you have the mainnet fail, you might lose delegators, right? Because those are just regular retail people who are using the system to get their 5% returns every 5 days. And if they lose faith in the system, the base layer of this whole thing is basically just every 5 days I'm gaining my 5% returns. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'll leave my money here. Like, it's no big deal. But if that fails at any point, our whole selling point kind of goes away, right? So when you put it in that context, I totally understand where Adam K. Dean and these small stake pool operators are coming from. They just want to make sure everything's super safe. But it's a very complicated and convoluted conversation because we also want the technological advancements. Technological advancements. And I don't know, Eric, where do you stand on that? Do you like it slow and steady, or do you want to see things starting to get a little more juicy?
Kind of on the slow and steady side. I think he mentioned something about like the previous version becoming like unusable. Imagining that happening on the mainnet would be like, we're just done. Like Cardano goes to zero, I mean, I don't know if that's like just, fear mongering or something, but I would prefer to just wait another month or something, as opposed to, if it's that risky, just trying it out and seeing what happens. I work in IT, Mike, so know about testing things, and when you don't test stuff fully, like the kind of horrible repercussions you face. So I'm all about just rigorous testing and just making sure everything, is right before you put it on the main net. So, I mean, it sounds like Charles thinks it's ready. I'm inclined to trust him. Maybe people are just trying to be extra cautious, which I don't mind. What side are you on?
When I first read Adam K. Dean's tweets a couple days ago, I was on his side because I thought that the actual code was broken. When in reality, the code that he was working on testnet is 1.35.2, and the one that will be the upgrade version is 1.35.3. So the one he's actually complaining about isn't the one that's getting upgraded, and the one that is broken is the one with this thing called ECDMA. It's basically for bridging Bitcoin networks to Cardano. So I think there's like something going on in the background where it's like we want to connect more ecosystems to Cardano, and like it was going to be exciting because you get all these new releases, you get all these new use cases where I don't know if they're talking about like using wrapped Bitcoin on Cardano, and it was going to be some really cool thing that was going to be released at the Cardano Summit, which is coming back this year, guys, November, which is very exciting. Last time we had the Cardano Summit, we had Dish Network come out and talk about their partnership. A lot of cool shit came out.
We had turtle NFTs.
So that was what was causing the hiccup, is this ECDMA like connection to Bitcoin. So what they did was like, okay, this isn't ready. This is breaking the network. Let's take it out. So they took that whole chunk of code. They're like, we'll put that in the backseat. It's definitely coming back because we definitely want that, right? So on the next hard fork, probably at the end of the year, we'll get that. It sucks that some of those partnerships are gonna have to be held on hold. But Charles is also like, there's all these fucking apps that want to come on the system on mainnet. We need these guys on here now. Like this shit's ready. Nothing's wrong with it. The hiccup was with that. So we'll take that code out. Everything else has been tested multiple times since before June. It's been months, dude, that they tested this code. There's nothing wrong with it. So I think they should update it. I think it's good to go. I think it's ready. And I'm excited. I think we're probably gonna get it next month, sometime in early September. So God willing, Ja
Pump our
willing,
bags,
pump,
Charles.
pump my bags. I think that works well too, because it'll be like ETH's doing their merge thing, which I don't know if that's gonna work. But also you'll have Cardano doing his Vasil hardfork, right? So I think it's just exciting times ahead. I think I agree with Adam, but at the same time, I think this code in particular is ready to go, and we shouldn't have to worry about it. I think he's just very, very cautious, and I understand that. But Cardano is a decentralized network, and it's like also if the developers are that worried about it, they don't have to update their nodes, right? So then it becomes this conversation where like we need over 51% of the nodes to run the new code. And if they don't want to do it, they don't have to. And that means we don't get the hard fork, right? So it's truly in the hands of these pool operators. So it's going to be interesting to see over the weeks to see if we get to that point where, you basically vote with your stake pool. If you want it, update. If you don't, if you think it's unsafe, then don't. Just keep running the old code. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out over the next couple weeks.
Then they can start Cardano Classic. They run it on the old code.
Pump my bags.
Speaking of not bumping our bags, how about those NFTs, Mike? They're pretty rough right now. It seems like last week something happened. I don't know if someone was like, I'm going to get out, or multiple people were like, we're done with NFTs. But it seemed like the price action on everything just dumped. And I made a tweet about it with like Cardano on like a headstone, like it died, which was a joke. Some
Take a
people
look at
didn't
it.
realize that. Traders 24 hours, I like this. I've never seen it since they put this up here. I've never seen this above 50% for buying, which is not great, but we've been in a bear market. So like the past 30 days, we had August 4th was a really good day, I guess. And then after that, it was just like
August
people just
4th was
stopped
the top.
buying NFTs. Yeah.
And ever since then.
And then we've been hurting for a squirting, as they say.
Yes. This is true.
And who's been leading the way lately? It's been Space Buds, Pavia, Clay Nation, Boss Cat, Rocket Club. Well, that's all time. But the last 30 days, Mallard Order, Raccoon Syndicate, The Journey, Jelly Cubes, my favorite, Space Buds, Aqua Farmers, Clay Nation, Virtua, Chilled Kongs. So I almost feel like people are like getting rid of their Chilled Kongs and buying into these newer projects, or they're just like, I'm done with NFTs. I'm going to have everything in ADA right now because I'm scared of the market. But I'm not sure. Can't say for sure. What do you think? What do you think's going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, it's a very interesting time. I love this shit because it's like, this is the beginning of something new, right? These new NFT markets on Cardano. We've been here for less than a year, right? All things considered, like I think it's been around for a year. So, right, like your guess is as good as mine. We have absolutely zero conclusions and zero history to go off of. Like, we don't know how this plays out, right? And
Yeah.
that's where it gets really interesting because either there's two things, right? Either this thing goes to zero, or this is like a really phenomenal buying opportunity to buy these assets at these prices, which haven't been seen since NFTs have started on Cardano.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is your base case? Like, what is your risk tolerance, right? Like, how much faith do you have in NFTs to become a thing in the future? And it's kind of like you have to go back to first principles and see like where is institutional people investing, because you just saw Disney partner with Polygon to start their NFT collection, and Disney is one of the oldest, one of the richest companies in the world, and they're just getting into NFTs now. So I don't think there's gonna be like there's not a lot of volume here, there's not a lot of money, and I just think that has more to do with the macroeconomic model of the world right now, where it's like everybody needs money. Like Europe's having a hardcore energy crisis, and it's like if my energy bill's like $700 a month, do I have money to be paying Clay Nation $400 for a pitch? You know what I mean? So it's like, do I have the lights on, or do I own metaverse land? You know what I mean? And that's a problem.
Right.
So like I just think it's a phenomenal buying opportunity. If you look at these assets and what they're doing, is anything broken? No. Is their roadmap changed at all? No. So then it's like the only thing that's changed is people's philosophy on like where the world's going. And I think if things come back to normal, and I'm a fucking optimist. I'm a diehard optimist. I believe in humanity. I always think everything always comes back. And like, if you believe in all the fear mongering that's going on right now, you're a sucker. Like, because that's just how things go. Everything is cyclical. Like, if you just turn your computer off, if you turn Twitter off, the world's fine. You know, things are more expensive, but if like your day to day life hasn't changed that much, it's like it sucks, you know, but it's like things are okay, you know? And I think like the government's been here and it's not going anywhere and it's going to be here for a while. So it's like, unless we have absolute total destruction of the world, things are going to come back. You know, that's my base case.
Yeah.
And at that point, get a gun, go to the forest, learn learn how to start
Shoot
a
yourself
fire.
in the head. Oh,
That too, that too, that too. No, I mean that's like what I'm talking about here, because it's like the way I've been listening to podcasts on like the macroeconomics, just like the way these people are talking. Mind you, most of these people are millionaires. Okay, they're talking about like, yes, going to the woods, buying a year's worth of supplies, and it's like, if that is the case, what's the fucking point of anything? You know, like I personally believe like, yeah, it sucks, but like everything's becoming financialized, but it's not going anywhere. Like, this is the world, this is how it is, and in a year's time everything's going to come back. It's just cyclical. Like, everybody thinks, oh, this is going to become the Great Depression, this is it, this is the moment. But it's like, if the majority of people are calling it, like, like,
right.
never has anybody ever predicted the future, especially when the majority of people believe that's what it's going to be. You know, like, it always zigs
Yeah.
when it zags. You know what I mean? So, you just have to go back to like, this is here. The Cardano ecosystem's here. Like, just I would double down on the projects you believe in, and like maybe not go so far into like the riskier shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm not getting rid of my clays. Not getting rid of if I had space buds, I'd hang on to them. Because they're not going anywhere. I don't see any of the Cardano developers leaving the ecosystem. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, they're still working, they're still
I
updating.
think if you see a project that's constantly building and putting out stuff, like even if the price isn't going up with it, like those are the kinds you want to stick around, and like the ones that are like you go to their Discord and they haven't said anything for like 3 months.
That's
Those are the
bad.
ones that are probably like, yeah,
That that
you're
that's
probably
that
funked on that
yeah,
one. But
that's them like working on something else or like getting disillusioned by the market as well. And you don't want to follow those teams anyways. Like you see
yeah,
a team like Clay Nation and they just had their spaces with Champ Medici. He's become a partner, which is like this is exactly what you want to see in a bear market. Like they're doubling down with like Snoop and his child, Champ Medici. And it's fun to see, you know. I'm in it. Their prices are going down too, but that's like an amazing project. Like if you look at their roadmap and what they're doing, they're just building, and it's like if NFTs are going to become a thing, like that's one for sure that's going to like stand the test of time.
yeah,
So
that's like the most sure thing I
yeah,
can possibly think of on Cardano.
yeah,
Um, but people don't want to take any risk, so the price has been where it has been for like since they announced the Baked Nation thing with Snoop Dogg. And we probably won't see a lot of price action until I don't know when, until they put out their metaverse or something.
right.
The Clayverse. But another project, Mike, that has caught my eye lately, but it's an OG project kind of, is Dirtbirds. So like maybe I will pull up that tweet because that's what really
Got it going for
pulled me
you.
in. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
All right, so here's the tweet. I said, rest in peace to Cardano NFTs. For some reason, this tweet blew up, even though it was like a random thing I just said because I was annoyed. But I guess it really struck a chord. But the thing that caught my eye, Mike, was the Dirtbirds community. They really went nuts with like the replies and everything. Because this guy said the derps live on. He put this funny little FUD bot picture in there, and I was like, yeah, you guys are thriving. Because I was like, I wish I didn't sleep on the birds. And then all the Dirtbirds people were just like, all over this. And then the Dirtbirds were like, never too late. And I was like, maybe I will buy one of these. And that's how easily I give into peer pressure. But so I bought in, and everyone loved it, of course. And then I actually started like learning about Dirtbirds, and I was like, I saw their website. I can pull it up. And it was like just really impressive. They have like staking, and it's just really well done. So yeah, this is their website. They have Preds, which are like the evil ones, Derplings, which are like baby Dirtbirds. They have Derp Apes. But the good thing about all these different ones is you can stake them and earn the Derp tokens. Are active in their Discord. They'll just give you Derp tokens. I just think it's a cool idea. And their Discord is very helpful. So yeah, this is their staking website. Pretty slick. So every epoch, I'm earning 8.1 Derp tokens. Depending on like the rarity and all that, you will get more tokens per epoch.
And are those tradable on dexes yet?
I don't see it on any dexes yet, but they have their own like exchange here where you can buy things with them. I haven't really dug too deeply into it yet, but um, you can also use it in to buy. I think they're gonna have like a game. So there's a lot going on, but I just think it's or they're gonna have like a battle between the Preds and the Derps, and you'll have like different items you can use in the battle. So I think it's interesting. But
So this is what's cool
keep,
about this Dirt Birds thing is like they have this whole ecosystem, and I'm sure like someone's created lore somewhere where you could read about it. Um, this is what's exciting about NFTs, right? Because we have these whole ecosystems of this thing called like Dirt Birds for one project, and they've created like their enemy, which is Preds, and it's like this whole lore, and they also have the technology to go with it. So you have
yeah.
staking, you have their own coin ecosystem, and there's gonna be some type of a game played, and it gets really interesting, and it gets fun, and I think that sucks people in, and it's like, how do you not like want to become a part of that, and that's why it's like I have
Yeah.
faith in this stuff where it's like most people think it's just a profile picture, but in reality it's like on the back end like a lot of shit's going on, and it's just like we're just missing a couple things. We're missing like key parts of the ecosystem, which is like really good marketing, right? We're missing user interface, like front end developers for their websites, because let's face it, they're very confusing.
So Mike, another project that I really like and you put me onto was the Beat Boys. Um, the hall passes were like 700 ADA, and then so I wasn't gonna get one, and I was just gonna be like, well, if they give me one, great, I'll mint. But if not, I'll just hold off and see like what the price goes down to. But then the hall passes went down to like two something, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll participate. And so I bought one at the last second, and then I was able to mint three, and I guess you get to be on the allow list. I would assume for like future projects too, but they haven't really said that. So I minted three, which are the ones behind me, and they're still minting right now. So I'm interested to see if they'll sell out. I think they've sold like half of their stock, and they haven't opened it up to the public yet. So we'll see if they sell out in the public mint. It's kind of like the worst timing you could have for a
Oh god,
drop,
yeah.
but we'll see what happens in the depths of a bear market. But it seems like a great project. Like the stuff he showed me was
Here is their JPEG marketplace storefront. We got 3,665 items. The floor is at 98 right now, Eric. We got 52,000 in sales. I really like this project. I really like the attitude, the no grind on Discord. This is their Beat Boys website. I really like it. You come in here, you press start system, and you get back to like the late 90s internet. So that's really fun.
yeah,
Uh,
it's super cool.
and then, yeah, they have careers, OpenSea. This is their link to their JPEG store. They created a bunch of playlists on Spotify, which is really nice. Support, visit the block, and then yeah, just like a bunch of weird shit that like obviously a lot of it's not ready yet, but that's what they're going towards. I'm excited for it, Eric. It's a fun project. Um, yeah, they're going under mint, so just pick one up. You never know what's going to happen. I just think, like we said before, a lot of these projects, like the price doesn't match like the team, right? And how much these people are working on this stuff. So if you believe in the project, definitely just, invest in it and yeah, pick one up, hang on to it. Who knows what happens in the next 6 to 12 months?
I think it'll be interesting to see since the public mint hasn't happened yet. Um, so I'm sure it'll get there since it's only halfway done selling out. Uh, usually what you'll see is once people mint on the public thing, um, the price just dumps because those people just want to flip them and they buy as many as they can and they sell them at a loss unless they get like a rare one. Or they'll sell their rare one and then dump the rest because they don't care about the project. So my prediction is it's probably going to dump pretty hard since it didn't really sell out in the whitelist as much as I thought it would. But so we'll see when this comes out. If it's around like 50 ADA, you're probably gonna be like, these guys are idiots. Why would they tell me to buy this? If it's at like 300 ADA, you'll be
Right.
like, why didn't they tell me sooner? So you
Well,
never know what's gonna happen. But
that's the funny part too. Right before the market dumped, when Cardano was at 55 cents, you had hall passes at almost 900 ADA. You had houses at 300 ADA. And when everything capitulated on Friday, everything dumped. Like the last 3 days has been ridiculous. So it's like between 3 days, what has happened? You know what I mean? Like this
yeah,
went from being one of the most promising projects within 3 days to like, we don't know if they're going to sell out. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. It's like
yeah,
things change so fast. You know what I mean? And like we had this conversation offline where we are talking about like not minting possibly, right? Because it's like, well, we know that maybe the prices will come down a lot. And it's like,
yeah,
then you said like what we're talking about. It's like, if you believe in the project, like what's changed besides the price? It's like, yeah, that's true. Like, so it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, just because like the prices are bad, it's like, you're probably not going to get rich tomorrow. Like we're so used to that where it's like you buy
yeah,
something and it 10x's right away. You know what I mean? And then you move on to the next project and that one 10x's and the next thing you know, you're buying space buds, right? Um,
yeah. We were used to that
so
like
that's,
months ago.
and like we said, like this is a brand new place. Like this is a brand new market. Things are changing. This isn't going anywhere. So it's just like the way I'm looking at it is like a learning experience because like you're
Yeah,
as you play these markets, you start to understand how these things trend, right? And you start to try to play those trends. And it's like it's a really cool, like NFTs are awesome. Like we have all these really cool websites. We have CNFT Jungle, CNFT Tools, Open CNFT, JPEG Store, and it's just like fascinating and really fun. And I think as these things evolve, they become more and more interesting. And we're kind of like in that place right now where it's like, what's next, right?
right.
And I'm here for it, Eric. I'm going down with the ship, baby, or up with the spacecraft.
Fluffy, Fluffy's NFT is next, isn't it?
Let's talk about fluffies, Eric. Get into it with me. Eric's a big
So,
fluffies believer. Brrrt.
bleh. So, Fluffy's NFT is
Should we take
these
a look
little
at
fluffy
their?
guys. Yeah,
Let's
you
take a
want to
look
pull
at
it
their
up?
Twitter because I don't think they have their.
They're like these animated guys that seem to be kind of a ripoff of Rick and Morty because they burp a lot, which in the show, uh, Rick burps like all the time, and I mean that animation
Well,
right there
also,
looks
yeah,
straight out of Rick
he's a
and Morty.
scientist. Rick's a scientist, right?
Yes,
So it's like,
yes.
look, I feel like they're
You're
taking.
not fooling anyone.
They're look, and here's the other thing too. I'll say
Green shit
this:
around his mouth too.
they're very cute. Like, I do like the
Yeah.
artwork.
They look good.
The other issue we had with Fluffies is that they've been paying people 30 ADA to promote the project. So I don't know if you've been following Cardano Twitter the last couple weeks, but it's just been constant Fluffy, boom, 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 which is fine. I don't know. I'm okay with it. I think as long as you're letting your followers know that it's like paid promotion, I'm okay
Yep.
with them marketing because it's like at the end of the day, this is how you get paid, especially if you're on the interwebs. Like it's just marketing. So, how do you feel about it, Eric?
I think for some reason it bothers me. Like it just seems like disingenuous. I know you have to get people's attention somehow, but I think if you're willing to like take the easy route and pay people for marketing in the beginning, like then it just makes me think uh you're gonna take shortcuts like just in general in the project. And it's also annoying to just see random people like posting the same thing and then like you're, something like a red flag goes off in your head and you're like, why do I keep seeing the same thing
Right.
everywhere? Like, you can almost tell it's not like legitimate. Um
But it does work.
and
You get a lot of people
it
to like
does. I'm just gonna be annoyed when they like
are
they're at
successful.
400 ADA and Beat Boys is at like 60.
Yeah.
Um but it just yeah. And then it's like, okay, if you're doing that, then how do I know you're not like buying like half of your own NFTs and just to like
Yeah, that's true.
artificially inflate the price,
That's a problem too.
So I don't know. Maybe they'll probably do well. Like it seems like people are into it. Um, but I personally just am not. I don't think it's original enough for me to be interested because the whole Rick and Morty kind of copycat thing. Um, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's like there's already so many projects that are like very similar where it's like Dirt Birds is like that weird kind of thing. So it's like they already have this ecosystem where I could stake and do all this fun stuff, earn tokens. You have like dead pixels. Like there's so many good projects that are doing stuff very similar where it's like, do I want to invest in a new ecosystem and start over again?
Right.
So it's like like you said, it's like it's gonna really speak to those people who are flipping NFTs. And if that's the case, it's like, it'll probably go up to 400 and then it'll fucking
Yeah.
dump, right? And never to be spoken of again. And who gets
Yeah.
hurt? Who gets hurt? Those people who like got sucked in by their followers, right? And then they're left holding the bag. So I guess you're right. It like if you're definitely promoting, I think something should be said to be like, hey, like I think this is cool, but at the same time, they are paying me to say something. So
Right.
that way, you're at least
It's a
letting
paid
them know.
promotion.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like then they're left holding the bag because like a lot of people's followers are diehards, and it's like you're just using them, right? And then we're no better than Crypto Bitboy or whatever the hell his name is,
Yeah.
where he's like, "Oh, this is bullshit. We should sue Voyager. Who's with me?" It's like
Forget that I pumped Voyager
Voyager,
a
right?
month ago. But yeah, another weird thing about it is like if you read their tweets, it's like it's like broken English.
Let me
So
see.
like
Pull,
I
pull
don't
one
know.
up for us.
Let me find the thread where they're like
Yeah,
trying
get
to
into it.
explain themselves.
The Fluffies discovered the origin of all these copies and paste roadmaps. Don't tell anyone that remains our secret. Oh dear.
Obviously, this is just a joke. A roadmap is great to determine the short to long-term future of a project. However, creating a roadmap isn't about copying and adopting existing models. We're here to change that, so stay tuned for some amazing surprises.
Which is
Uh,
fine, but it's
but
like, okay, like show me something original that you've done. And what have they done
yeah,
that has been original? It's
like
like
where is
nothing.
your roadmap?
But where
Come
is
on.
like your originality too? Because it's like Eric and I just talked about how it's very similar to Rick and Morty. So it's like, what are they doing that's different? Burps, booze, and vibes. Rick and Morty.
Now we're talking.
All right, folks.
If you don't burp, are you even worth? Question mark. A curse and blessing created by Dr. Fluffy, the booze. No one knows for sure what it does to us, but who cares? Burp. Are you ready for the taste? Are you ready to taste the magic of the lab? Like, this doesn't like read well. Like I don't get what it's trying to tell me. The dream is to spread our art worldwide, powered by Cardano. It's so like generic.
Well, also like the creators aren't doxxed, which we've had a really big issue with the last couple of days. Where I don't know if you've heard about El Matador, but they the creator of that just ghosted his project. So also one that I have been into is the Felt Society, which just left.
Oh no,
yeah,
they're done too.
I got rugged, Eric. I got rugged hard, puppy. So
it's funny, we were both rugged at like around the same time with, I forgot the one I did, but I got my money back, so it wasn't a real rug. But they were kind of similar looking to the Felt Society.
yeah.
But this just looks like one of those websites from
we just talked about Beat Boys and how original that website was as compared to this, where it's like the artwork's nice, but I can hire somebody on Fiverr to create artwork.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing special about this. They haven't added any buttons or any links to anything. Like, where's their support button? Nothing. So that's why it's always like
Twitter in May 22. This guy joined in December 2021. And these are the creators. So it's just like, it's not like they have like this long-standing presence in Twitter or something.
Yeah. So just be careful.
It's a lot of red flags.
A lot of red flags. Look, hope to be wrong. I'm an eternal optimist, but at the same time, I don't want anybody losing their money. I lose enough money for everybody, so.
We'll see. It'll probably be fine, but
let's hope.
These are just the things we look out for.
Yeah, we're here for you. We like to talk about it. I don't think you're getting a lot of this anywhere else. Everyone else is too scared to talk about this stuff, but here, we're going to tell you the truth.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. We've lost all of our money, so this is all we have.
This is all we have at this point. That's going to do it for us this week. We love you. Make sure to subscribe and like the video, and we'll see you guys next week.
Burp.
Burp.